I started doing Uber Eats on my bicycle, and this was during the
What?
winter.
No way. You're a bike messenger? Courier? I did the same thing in LA. So
So the funny thing was this payout, and I don't know if we talked about it yet. It was 28,000, but this payout,
good
like,
job, dude.
thank
Damn,
you.
nice. Hi guys, welcome to another TFT interview. I'm Tori Trades and I've got Paladin here. We've got the payout interviews. You guys asked for them, we're bringing them. Every single interview, payout after payout after payout. So before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for notifications, drop a comment, hit the bell. I already said that one. Subscribe, do all the good things. All right, Paladin, let's just get right into it. So let everybody know where you're from, how old you are, and then what got you into trading in the first place.
All right, guys. So my name is Paladin. Originally I'm from New York City, and I just moved upstate. So I'll be going back to New York City. But basically, I'm from New York. What got me into trading? So I was in high school. I was 17, and I was a senior in high school. And my friend Jerry, he was part of IML, which is like a network marketing company that sells like Forex. And he was just like recruiting people, and he stumbled upon me. He showed me some guy who went to jail, came out, started doing Forex, and then he became a millionaire. He had a Lambo, and he was just showing
Oh,
me.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. What's his name?
I don't know.
He lives in LA, right?
I don't know. That was like the first video he showed me. This was like 4 years ago. So I don't remember, but he showed me that. And I was like a naive high schooler. And I was like, oh my God, I want that lifestyle. And I ended up joining. I begged my mom to pay for the monthly membership because I had a job, but it was still pretty expensive. It was like 200, I think. So then I joined in high school. I started studying from that. I was on the network marketing side of it as well, just because they said you get like free membership if you get two people on. And I was doing all that. And then eventually, like a couple months later down the road, I just quit because I was blowing my accounts, because obviously you blow your accounts like the first couple of years because you have no experience. You're not psychologically, like, you don't have the psychology to handle the accounts. And I was just taking people's signal because they were telling me, take this signal and you'll be profitable, you'll make money. And I ended up blowing my account. I blew my money. And I couldn't afford, I didn't quit actually. I couldn't afford the membership anymore. That's what happened. And then a couple months went by, and my friend who I recruited, he told me, just join back, man. We're doing good. I was like, okay, fine, I'll join. And I was like, okay, because I was doing catering at that time in high school. So I used my money for that because my mom was not giving me any more money.
She was like, you're cut off.
Yeah, 200 is a lot for a high schooler. So she's not giving me any more money past that. And then I joined back. I was studying a bunch of different educators. I made the most common beginner mistake, just kept going through strategy after strategy. One strategy wasn't working, went to the next. And when I was in a network marketing company, they don't really teach you like as much on the psychological part. It's a lot network marketing side, but I have to give my props to that company because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that company. And that company, they had like calls every week, and I was like, I didn't know nothing about entrepreneurship. I didn't know nothing about the mindset to be an entrepreneur, because there's a certain mindset to become one. It's like you got to be tenacious. You can't give up. You got to listen to personal development every day, all that. And that company did very well in instilling that entrepreneur mindset in me. From then on, I told myself, I can't do recruiting anymore. I'm going to just focus on the trading side. I took the entrepreneur mindset from that company, and I ended up quitting. And then after that, where did I join? After that, I went to college. I was still in the company. Still the first year. This is still the first year. They recruited me in 2018, December. And now this is 2019. And now I'm in college, fall semester, the first semester. And halfway through college, I was in classes like, I had no major. I was taking like random classes like art, literature, and like all these like history classes. And just halfway, I'm like, what is this? Like, what am I learning? Art, literature? Like, what is all this? Like, I have to write essays on it. Like, I have no interest in this. And coming from that, being surrounded by entrepreneurs from that company, is like, I don't want to live. And you know how they always like push, like, screw college, be an entrepreneur, stuff. Like, so then I was like, I ended up dropping out. I was like, yeah, screw this, I'm gonna drop out. A lot of people call me stupid. Because they're like, as majority of people are like, not, I don't want to sound like a little weird, but they're like programmed to like go to college and like live this certain lifestyle.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. They can't really think outside the box.
Yeah, exactly. So then like when I dropped out, all my friends were like, what are you doing? This, that. And I dropped out with like barely any money. I don't come from money. I had no money. I just dropped out, took a bus back to New York City. And for the next 2 weeks, I dropped out with literally no plan but to continue on with Forex, to pursue this path of Forex. Because online, all I see is, I used to follow a lot of Forex traders online, especially like the gurus, like you could say, like with the Lambos and everything. And like a lot of amateur traders, like new traders, they get into this game and they get fooled by them because they push this lifestyle. And the more experienced traders know that some of them are making money majority from their courses, from these side services, not from trading, but still they push all that lifestyle. And I got tricked by them, but that was actually pretty good because it was motivation that this can legit work. Like a lot of people are being successful. A lot of people are successful. And like I said, a lot of the profits online, they're not really real. Like majority of them like fake. But then I dropped out. I was staying in my friend's house for like 2 weeks, but then I couldn't really stay there for that long. So my parents, they moved back to India when I graduated from college. So then I told my parents that, oh, I'm taking a gap semester. So I told them I'm taking a gap semester. So I'm gonna come back for 6 months and my original plan was to study the market, study the charts, study. And they're thinking that I'm taking a gap semester. And the thing is, I couldn't tell my parents, I dropped out of college, because I come from a traditional Asian household and college is like everything. Education is everything. So for me to tell them that is like, they'll be like, what's wrong with you? And like I said, they're especially programmed to being immigrants, because a lot of Asian immigrant parents, they're like, college, school, be the best in education. So I didn't tell them that. And I advise that for a lot of people, not to tell other people like you're gonna do trading, because a lot of people, they think trading is like gambling. And to be honest, a lot of people do trade. A lot of people do gamble instead of proper trading. So it makes sense. Like you can't believe. Like I see a lot of people like, oh, my friends don't believe in me, my parents don't believe in me. But you have to understand, a lot of people do fail. It's people. Like I said, the people think it's like gambling because a lot of people do gamble. So you can't blame them, and they're programmed to college to live this lifestyle. So for you to tell them, oh, they don't support me, they don't support me, this, that, you can't blame them. It's their programming. It's like, that's that. And then 6 months went by. I was studying. I discovered ICT. That was in 2020, ICT. And then I was under a mentorship. I quit IMO by then. I was under a mentorship by Gene, who was a 6-figure student of ICT. So while I was learning ICT, I was learning from Gene as well. And that 6 months in India was spent, like the moment I woke up to the moment I slept, I was just studying the charts. Also, shout out to Levi, who was the one that introduced me to ICT. So yeah, those 6 months went by. And looking back at it now, like those 6 months were a complete waste of time, because I believe that trading is majority psychological. Like if you're spending all day on those charts, like people think they're just gonna magically, like it's all gonna hit and then like they're gonna be very successful. But no, trading is building your capital and knowing how to handle the capital. You don't need that high accuracy that everyone aims for, 80-90% accuracy, and they think it's realistic to have that accuracy for so long. But the fact is, there's seasons, there's winning streaks, there's losing streaks, there's so many things in trading.
Yeah.
And then so I came back from India. I have no money, like I said, and then prop firms. So I discovered FTMO in 2020, mid 2020, and a lot of people, I asked my people in the trading community, oh, what do you guys think about this prop firm? And they're like, oh, it's a scam, because no one was doing a prop firm back then, 2020. So I just decided to do a small challenge, a 10K challenge. It looked pretty legit. I failed the first challenge. Obviously, and like when it comes to challenges, you need experience to pass these challenges. It's not like it's not gonna be you pass a challenge, you get funded, you make money. No, it's gonna take, you fail a challenge, you pass a challenge, you might fail the verification, and then finally you pass the challenge, finally pass the verification, then you get funded, and now you think you're gonna get rich, and then you lose the entire account, and then back to basic, and then until you just keep learning, gaining more experience until you finally hit the stage where your psychology is good enough, you're a system where you've developed a lot of things where you are able to handle the accounts. So after that, I came back, I did a 50K challenge. I had nowhere to stay because New York City is pretty expensive, and I was just broke. And my parents thought that I wasn't back in college dorming, when I wasn't. I was still pursuing this dream. And then I came back, I had nowhere to stay. And then my friend, he offered me to stay in his place for a couple of weeks again. A couple of weeks turned into like a month, and then a month turned into 2 months. And then finally I moved out. I got a job in Delhi. To pay for my necessities, like my rent. I ended up moving to Brooklyn, New York, because I'm from Queens. So it was like a new territory for me. And it was a little cheaper out there. So I had one room. My friend had another room, and my other friend so it was a 3-bedroom apartment. We each split it up. We had our own room. I was paying like $600 a month. And then now it's 2020, 2021. I ended up getting fired from my job because I couldn't cook properly. And then 2021 came. I started doing Uber Eats on my bicycle. And this is
what? No way. You're a bike messenger?
Not bike messenger, like just Uber Eats.
I mean, that still counts. Courier. I did the same thing in LA. So I did food courier. I guess that's what you call it. In LA, I would deliver people food. Same thing. All right, keep going. Very cool.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was on my bicycle. And then eventually my plan was just get these challenges. My plan was just save up, pay rent first. Actually, my first plan was just to get an electric bicycle because it's hard bicycling for hours in the day.
Yes, it is.
And then I was doing the math. It was like I could stay longer out. It's much faster. Like, so save up for electric bike first, because those bikes are expensive too. They're like 1,500 or something. And then I got an electric bike. And then my plan was to pay rent. And then that extra money I would spend it on challenges. Because the prop firm, like when prop firm saved my trading career, because without prop firms, they gave me like hope again. You know, like it's very hard to be successful in trading if you don't have that big of a capital. And when 2020, when it came, prop firm came, I was losing hope as well, because I was thinking, how am I going to flip? I only have like $500, or like I barely have like past $1,000. How am I going to get enough to have a full-time, to live full-time on my own? And then prop firms came. That's what gave me hope. So I continued doing Uber Eats. I did a 50K challenge with FTMO. I passed it. And I actually got 8K funded. Not 8K funded. I got 8K withdrawal, which I believe was just like, I believe I got lucky. It was probably like a winning season. I got lucky. And then the next week I blew the entire thing. I put it on my a broker account, a Hugo's Way broker account. So I went from having like $10,000 in my bank account back to like a couple hundred. And then I blew the whole thing because I was just revenge traded. Like I took losses, and it was actually real money, you know. So it's like more psychologically like affects you. So I took a couple of losses. I was risking $1,000. No proper risk management. Like I said, my first withdrawal was very lucky. And I feel like a lot of people, they get lucky because a lot of people, they have a payout the first time and then you don't see them anymore. But going back,
true.
I lost that entire thing the next week, and I ended up I couldn't pay rent. So I ended up moving back to Queens, and I lived in a 4-bedroom apartment, all strangers. But this time I didn't have my own room. I shared with one of my guys from Brooklyn. So we was paying $340 each. So I lived in the top bunk, he lived in the bottom bunk. At this point, I was still working, doing all that. And then at that point, like I lost so many challenges. I lost hope. I lost hope and everything. I went back to college, but I was still pursuing the dream. Like I still had it on the side. And then I got funded again, dropped out of college. My hope came back. It was just like a constant repeat cycle. But the more I did challenges, the more I did got live accounts and lost them, the more experience I gained. And eventually I just kept building. And then here I am now.
Hell yeah, dude. Damn. To be honest, I am so excited to see where your story goes, because the backstory is a tough one. That's like a textbook movie. That's exactly how it all starts. You're going to be a millionaire soon. We're going to hear your backstory. Like, yeah, I was delivering food, on my bike. My parents are like, you got to stay in college. This is going to be a great story. I'm so excited. Okay. So the next question is going to be as far as strategy goes. So I know that you started with like the Forex kind of pyramid scheme, then you moved to ICT. Did you move anywhere else, or it's just kind of ICT, like strategy wise? Yeah.
Before ICT, from 2019, halfway 2020, it was just like, I just switched like 8 different strategies, like indicator. I've done every strategy, indicator, retail, and I'm not bashing any of them. I believe that any strategy works. And I think I've seen on Instagram where you use like retail. It's like you could be profitable with retail if you just make sure you have a proper system with an edge, and you have the proper psychology to be able to handle. So yeah, so then I like the ICT strategy. Just fit me. Understood it. And then 2020, I just stayed with ICT, and that's it. Before ICT, it was like 8 different strategies, 8 different mentors, and then ICT came, and I've been sticking with ICT since then.
Okay, I gotcha. I gotta say, you're like the coolest ICT student that I've ever met, by the way.
You gotta avoid social media, man. Too many haters.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, but I love your outlook on it. You're like, okay, I'm not bashing strategies. I think different strategies works for different people. This one works for me. Love it. Okay, so then next question is kind of, what does your day look like as a day trader? So you've already done the trial and error. You've gone through strategies. You've got one now. So like, what session are you doing? Like, walk me through just a normal day of your day trading.
So like for me, it's like every 3 months, like it changes, because I dropped out of college 3 times. So I just dropped out of college again, like 5 months ago. That was after I became funded, and I made a big withdrawal where I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. Like I don't need anything. I'm gonna go full time on this. Before, I had a lot of things going on at college. I had a job to pay for my rent, because I've lived on my own since 18. My parents still think I'm in college right now. They still think like I'm pursuing something, and I still won't tell them, because even with the amount of money, I send them money and I tell them that it's from like this internship I'm doing with college or something like that. Because if I tell them, like they're that programmed where like if you tell them,
understand,
like you're trading and making money, they're like, no, that's still not good. You got to go to college. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like the programming. They like if you tell them something for that many years, like everyone follows it, they're gonna follow it. You can't blame them. You have to understand from their point of view. So back then I used to like I barely got sleep. I used to it was only just recently that I turned like full time again. So back then it was like college, what was I talking about? Food, Uber, all that. And then I would like wake up at 2 a.m., check out the markets. So for me, it's like I check the markets and I can tell if there's a setup or not. If there's no setup, I'll go back to sleep. And this is back then. So if there's no setup, I go back to sleep. If there is a setup, I would look at it. If it's not near my entry, I wouldn't like now I place alerts, but back then, if there wasn't a setup, this is during London, because New York session, I'll be up in the morning. I wake up early, but during London, if there isn't, I'll wake up. If there's no setups, I'll sleep till New York session. If there is a setup, I would try to predict like how many more minutes of sleep can I get before there's a possibility that price can come to entry. So I'll try to predict it, because maybe if like price is far away from my entry, I'll be like, okay, a couple hours sleep. If price is close, I'll just be like, okay, I'll put an alarm for every 30 minutes and see how it goes. And then like if I wake up in 30 minutes and just price went away from my entry, I'm going back to sleep. Whereas if it's priced near my entry, I'll just stay up. So it's always different. I don't trade every day. That's the thing. I just trade when there's a setup present. But now it's different because I'm full time. So it's like when you're full time, like for me personally, I feel like you gotta be up for London and New York because this is full time. It's not like I'm doing a bunch of other things too. So I have to. Yeah.
Now tell me how alerts kind of changed your trading. For me personally, like alerts changed my freaking life. Like now I'm staring at the screens a lot less. Like when that alert goes off, that's my setup, and now it's time to enter. So what's your experience with the alerts?
Alert is everything. Alert is like, for me personally, I know a lot of people like these, they just look at the charts for hours, like in the morning. For me, like it's like I wake up, if there's no setup, I'll just continue my day. Maybe I'll check in a couple of hours to see if there's another setup present. But if I wake up and I see like, oh, there's a setup about to form, or there's a setup, I'm waiting for price to come, I'll set my alerts around that support or resistance like levels. So once price is near it, then I go back to my laptop and see what's happening. But besides that, I'll just place my alerts around it and then just close my laptop and continue my day. Because I believe that the moment I wake up, the first 15 minutes, I analyze the charts. There's no point in me just staying at it for like an hour, for hours. Because I feel like the more you look at charts, the more your brain starts picking out like some random trades. Like you think like, oh, the setup is good. But I feel like the first 15 minutes, the moment you wake up, a fresh chart, fresh outlook. Okay, clean, not clean. Okay, not clean. I'll check later on. Nothing's clean. I'll do this tomorrow. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. And last question is, are you able to share your screen at all? Or do you want to just talk about your strategy? Cool. Let's kind of look at your screen a little bit and just walk me through kind of how you analyze the markets, kind of what pairs you're looking at, what time frame, just a quick overview of kind of your trading.
So the funny thing was this payout, and I don't know if we talked about it yet, it was 28,000, but this payout.
Good job, dude. Damn, nice.
Thank you. This payout, like I made like 12K from one trade, which wasn't intentional. Like I'm working on becoming like a content, like I'm working on my content, like becoming bigger on Instagram. And congrats to you. Like I saw your gap. That was like crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. So I was like actually, let me show my screen first. So I'll just go over that trade because
let's see it.
It was on GU during November 15th. So basically, ICT concept, you go on a daily time frame. You start with the high time frame because you need the high time frame to back up the lower time frame. So basically, what happened was above the highs, there's liquidity, and there's also a fair value gap. And probably you're not ICT students, so it probably just sounds like a little off, like some foreign language, but. So there's an imbalance in here, as we can see in here. Price came to that imbalance and it rejected off that. And I've been bearish on GU for a while because on the higher time, we could definitely see that's on a bearish trend. So then on the higher time frame, we see that price was rejecting off that area. And we saw that price took out these highs right here and that there's liquid. Oh my God.
Dude, first of all, you are very quick with trading view. I'm still getting there.
Oh, which one did you use?
I used to use TradeStation, which was shiza, to be honest with you.
I have no idea what that is. So there's an imbalance in here. So price was rejecting off that level. So at that point, I was waiting. So once price rejected, I had the confirmation that on the higher time frame, we could be possibly bearish. So then I went on a lower time frame, the 1 hour. Let's see. What else? I remember on the 1 hour. Let's see, 15 minutes. So it was so price rejected off that level right up here. And then sorry about your trend lines, but we ICT traders, think there's liquidity under it. So we targeted. So what happened was price rejected. And then we had another confirmation that the trend line was broken. So once that trend line was broken, we believe that there is liquidity under these trend line because that's where retail traders place their stop loss. And like I said, I support the strategy. So basically, these lows have liquidity because retail places their stop loss on this trend line. And at that point, what happened was price took out these lows and we broke right here. And this was during New recession. We broke these lows and price came back and retested this 5-minute order block.
Oh yeah, that would have been a great entry for me.
And then at that point, we could target these lows. But for me, I like to use a 1 to 2 risk to reward no matter what, just because anything can happen. And also I don't like thinking when I'm in a trade. I like placing my trade, my alerts at 1 to 1 to place stop loss at break even, and then close my laptop and continue my day. So then I had an entry around here. I was specifically waiting for price to reject off this 5-minute order block just in case, and price did reject because we also have this area right here. Let me see on 15-minute. I don't usually execute on the 5-minute, more of 15-minute, but all right. So basically price rejected off this area, and I saw price rejecting on that 5-minute order block. So I entered a little late at the rejection area for 1 to 2.
Okay.
And what happened was at this point I have created a buffer. Are you familiar with that term? Buffer is basically like a cushion for your account. So when I get a funded account, I like to risk a little less until I have a little cushion that I could risk more. It's like, so once I'm a little bit in profit, so that way I don't lose the account. That way I don't go under.
I see.
So before I start risking like 1% of my account, I'll risk 0.5% until I'm up 2%. Once I'm up 2%, I'll feel comfortable risking 1% because now I can afford to lose the next 2 trades. I'll feel more confident trading. So that helps me a lot having that buffer. So at this point,
that makes sense.
So at this point, I'm already up. I think I was up like 2%, maybe. I was up 2.5%. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna risk 1%. And I risked 1%, 4K to make 8K. I have a 400K funded account with the funded trader. And at this point, I started my TP. And like I mentioned before, my goal is to become a content creator, just like increase my influence, help others. And at this point, prices are around my TP level. And the thing I like about funded trader compared to other prop firms is the other prop firms I'm with, they're the funded accounts, they say demo on them, whereas the funded trader, it says live, if you understand what I'm saying. So funded accounts with them, it just says demo, which I don't know why. I don't know the structure of the prop firms, but it says demo, even though it's a real funded account. It's not a challenge verification. So with the funded trader, it says live. So it's cool. So I want to make a video showing I'm up 8K, which is 1%, which is not that much if you think about it percentage wise. But on the phone up 8K and you show it's a live account, you're legit, all that, it'll get a bunch of views. That was my thought process. So I went to go get my other phone. And I turned it on, it was dead. I was like, shoot, let me go charge it. I want to get this content. Like, I don't care. Because once my stop loss is at break even, like I really don't care about the trade. Like once I'm risk free, like if it comes back to break even, oh well. If it's TP, oh well. At least I'm risk free. I'm not losing anything. I'm still up 2%, 2.5%, which is like 10,000. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was charging my phone. You know how it takes a couple of minutes to like get to like first the one, like to get charged up. It was taking like, I was waiting. I was like, come on, hurry up before I don't want anything happening. And then I was taking a video, and then all of a sudden price just tanked right here, and it went from so I take my TP at 1%, which is 8K of a 400K. I risked 1%, make 2%, so that's 8K on a 400K account. And then I was taking a video, and then price tanked, and then it went from 4.8, it went to like 12K. I took a quick video, and then I closed. I was like, oh my god, I got lucky today. And this is like one of my most memorable trades. It's so funny.
So you did get the footage of it then?
Yeah, I got the footage of it.
Nice.
So yeah, that was one of my most memorable trades.
All right, hell yeah. So I mean, to be honest, as far as the strategy goes, this is I can follow along very easily. I mean, that made total sense. Now, what's cool about me, I mean, you mentioned the trend lines, how you guys do the opposite, and I'm more of a breakout trend line trader. So when it did break out of that trend line, that's when I'm engaging. The retest would have been perfect time to engage. So it's super cool how we have 2 completely freaking different strategies, but we both would have had the same kind of entry. So it's neat how that works. Yeah. Shit. All right. So then we talked about strategy. We talked about how you got into trading, and we talked about your payout. I guess the last thing is kind of what's your advice for people that have the funded account? So they're getting funded, but they just keep blowing accounts. Like they can't quite get the payout. What's your advice for those guys?
The thing is, our human behavior is we are all like, I guess, like greedy, impatient. It's just in our human behavior. So when we get a funded account, when I got my first funded account, I used to think, oh yes, time to get rich. But in fact, that's not how it works. People think that you wake up one day and then it all clicks and you become a 6-figure trader, but it doesn't work that way. You have to build a foundation. You have to build that foundation of building your capital, building your psychology, and then keep increasing your capital. And the more you increase your capital and having that psychology to be able to handle that, to be able to manage that big capital, the more money you can make. That's how you make money in trading. So if you have a funded account, don't think you're going to get rich. Build a foundation, get more capital, risk less. Don't risk 1%, 2%. Risk a little bit, aim for medium rewards, use those profits to do more challenges. And eventually, once you use those, you basically using one funded account to get a bunch of funded accounts. Once you have a bunch of funded accounts, say for example, 7-figure in total capital. If you risk a little bit on a 7-figure account, that's thousands of dollars to make thousands of dollars. So just my advice is don't think you're going to get rich off one funded account. Build your funded accounts. Keep building your capital. That's how you get rich in trading. You don't get rich off one account and flipping it 10 to 20 times. It doesn't work that way.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. That was great advice. Paladin, this was awesome. You guys saw him here first. I feel like his story is about to go far. This is just the beginning. He's already starting his social media. He's probably about to be big next time we have this interview. So thank you for taking the time, Paladin. This was an awesome interview.
Thank you, Tori.
All righty. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, Paladin. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.